Frak, this podcast, come and listen to us talk about Battlestar Galactica. It's a show that we're talking about. Hello, interwebs. I hope you are all doing well. I am your straitjacketed host, Jesse Gender, and I am joined as always by...
Straitjacket. It's Vera. Have you ever been put in a straitjacket?
No, I imagine I might freak out at it, actually.
I have, not for medical reasons, for
I can guess the reason.
certain kinds of play reasons. It's assuming that it's not like a bad fit. I was surprisingly comfortable, actually.
I mean, I could see that. I mean, I would assume they would, at least they would initially be designed to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a good weekend. We were talking way too long before this because you're being super helpful, but I had this past weekend a reading of my horror script, which was a lot of fun. And then got a bunch of notes that we went through before we went on camera. So thank you for that.
You're very welcome.
So yeah, I was good.
I am here to be the person who doesn't have to be diplomatic with all the other people in the room. You can go, that idea sucks. Use that one. That's shit.
Yeah, exactly. I do appreciate that because, and I say this very nicely, because the actors were all there and they gave some really good notes, especially on their characters. But they're always like, yeah, this is great, and you always have to go like, well, they don't want to lose out on possibly having a part, so maybe they all think it's shit. You will just tell me if you think it's shit, and I appreciate that.
Oh yeah, I can, I will, I have.
And I say that completely diplomatically. I'm not throwing any actor under the bus. I do the same thing when I'm part of other projects. You never say you hate anything that you're working on.
Oh, yeah. Like, God, especially if it's something as early in the process as your script is, to be like, yeah, this is really interesting. I don't know about all this though. Like, what a quick way to have your name removed from consideration for working on the project. When it goes
I don't want to work with you anymore. Screw you. Yeah. No,
yeah.
But it was a good time. But yes, you gave really good notes.
See, that's the thing. We're already friends, and I know I can call you an asshole to your face and tell you your ideas are shit, and we'll still be friends.
Yes, the day where I get too big and I go fuck you for not telling me to my face that I suck, that's when I've truly gone the full Hollywood. You know?
Yeah. That'll be the side that. The day that you tell me an idea and I tell you that sucks and you get mad at me, that's when I'm gonna be like, you changed, man.
You sold out, yeah.
Used to be about the art.
I'm just saying we need to have Captain America come back in this script. I think it's really important.
Oh, jeez.
And the X-Men. Dredge up AI, William Shatner. I know he's still alive, but we'll AI him anyways.
Zubul will return in Avengers Doomsday.
Jesus Christ.
Well, but I know you've now seen the last act for Amazing Digital Circus. Had you been following that series prior to that, or like did you binge it so you could go see that?
No, I did not binge it to go see it. I did, so I actually discovered it. I don't think you said. I think I just came. No, what I did was I saw Knights of Guinevere. So whenever that came out, I just started checking out other stuff on Glitch. And I came across Amazing Digital Circus, watched that, and then very funnily, I think it was like episode 6 or 7 had been out at that point. Funnily enough, after that point, Morgana Ignis, who is a associate friend of mine who is like involved in a bunch of Nebula and Abigail Thorne stuff, and also does did the merch for Hell of a Boss, got hired for Glitch to now do merch for Glitch. And I was like, oh, so people I know are in my orbit now for that. Morgana, because she's awesome. And then I learned that it was ending and that they were announcing all this stuff. So like I did not like I came on later than most, but I was here before like the show was ending. I caught like 2 episodes when they came out, like 7 and 8. I think I caught before they came. Like
I got into it because my kiddo really likes it. And they really liked the finale. They were incredibly happy with it.
Yeah, I really liked it too. It was great.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. But like I think it meant a lot to me, certainly, to be able to take my kiddo to see this, because it that they're 14 at this point, so but they are a creative person. They're very into art. They're into animation. They're into storytelling, and hearing them talk about their thoughts about it coming out, I'm like, this is gonna be one of those things that like influences the way you tell stories like for the
Hmm.
rest of your life. This was one of those things, and I got to be there for that, and that's nice.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Well, hopefully they'll get a better fandom
Oh
then.
Jesus! Like,
uh,
but by the time this podcast goes out, it might even be the most recent video out on
mm.
the main channel, me talking about Amazing Digital Circus. And I'm gonna try and not spend too much time on that fandom, but I'm gonna have to talk about it because Jesus Christ.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well,
like as somebody who's been talking about toxic fandoms for almost a decade, Jesus.
oh, trust me. Yeah, no, I know. Well, anyways, there were certainly a lot of revelations in that finale of Amazing Digital Circus. And speaking of, we're talking about the comments from the episode Revelations today. What
See,
a
I'm gonna
little
let that one go
coinkydid
because
there.
it's actually an accurate statement that
There
there
were
that there were
revelations.
revelations in
There
that.
were indeed revelations. Um,
Ah, good
Where's
grief.
my jetpack says the fifth Cylon was definitely Pike.
The
uh
fifth Cylon was the friends we made along the way.
yes, exactly. Arsenal says LMAO Kratos voice, sometimes boy you gotta throw the bones for a hard six. But also says it always is goofy when shows, books, etc. called Dirt Earth when on a different world. This is jarring in the reverse sense, so it is, as Vera points out, perfectly in keeping with the show's slapstick world building that makes my eye twitch, but I'll give it a few points for turning the usual screw up on its head.
Speaking of God of War, I'm sorry. So this kind of dovetails. So there was the reveal of the new God of War game starring his wife, and the video game outraged tourists. Which I credit to Stephanie Sterling for that one. People who don't actually play most of these games, but just stop in to be outraged and then move on.
Yes, yes.
Um, like they all got upset because
Lao Fei.
she's an adult woman, like an actual adult, not like a teenage looking boy. And they all got mad. Like, I don't want to play. I want to be Big Muscle Man. And that that has kind of rhymed in an interesting way. Did you hear about the reveal for the new Stellar Blade game?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, so in case viewers or listeners don't know, Stellar Blade, the original Stellar Blade is from my understanding, having not played it, it's a pretty mid 3D action thing. It wants to be near Automata, but it has nothing interesting to say, and
Mm,
just it it fetishizes its lead character to the point of comedy.
mm,
Um, and of course, the anti-woke crowd latched on to that first
of
game
course.
like a
Yeah.
fucking lamprey eel because they're like, "Oh, the wokes hate it because she's sexy." I'm like, actually, the wokes don't care, and critics don't like it because it's kind of dull. But they announced a new one, and their new lead character,
I
the
love the jiggle on
design,
her ass. Well, there's that, yeah.
well, the design for her face, she looks 6 years old.
Mm?
Until the camera pulls back and it's this skin tight jiggle physics nightmare, but like it's fucking disturbing, and it's really interesting seeing a
Uh,
lot. And I, to be fair, not all, because even some of the people who went all in bashing the new God of War looked at that and went, "Fuck no!" But some of them are now trying to defend that while claiming that Laufey was like a terrible idea.
it's
Fans of
right.
everything are terrible. Nobody
They
should be a fan of anything anymore.
stop
Fandom is
being fans.
banned.
We don't no fans of anything anymore. Just
No.
be fucking normal or be weird in a like chill way. Like Jesus. Like just be weird and
Be
be
weird at
chill.
home. Stop being weird on the internet when it comes to this fandom shit.
Yeah, I think that's like stop being weird on the internet. I think that's it. Like go be weird in real life as long as you're not being creepy, you know?
I
Yeah.
mean, like, I suppose me of all people saying stop being weird on the internet as I sit here in my trans color patterned fucking collar. Maybe I shouldn't be throwing
Stop
stones,
being
but
creepy is the word. Just
don't be
creepy.
creepy. Like
Don't be
I think
creepy.
we can do that. Don't be creepy.
Yeah, don't be weird. Don't be creepy.
There we go. We
uh
got there.
yes. Let's see. I'm Dave79 says, Vera, I was with you on that roller coaster of emotions. My stomach did an absolute flip when Jesse mixed up the episode titles. uh
Oh,
yeah,
you
and
know
then
what's
two
so
by five.
frustrating?
Mhm.
I meant to, and I should have. I meant to last week make a thing out of it because last week's episode number for this particular podcast was episode 69, and
Uh,
I forgot to do a thing.
I'm disappointed in you. Very disappointed in you.
And it was not nice.
It was not nice, no.
No.
Very disappointing. You have now become my enemy, and now as I look upon the face of my enemy,
No,
we are,
there's one other thing. There's one other thing because
yeah.
I had meant I've been meaning to bring this to your attention for a bit. Okay, so when I went to Provincetown with my boyfriend, which is actually where I got this collar from,
Yeah.
uh, shock of shocks. So we went into a used bookstore and there was a Battlestar Galactica book on the shelf. And I took a picture of the back and there's, I'm just going to read the middle paragraph of the description on the back. In the aftermath of the war, there is a new illegal profession, scavenger. Tom Varick, captain of the Lightning, is one, and then et cetera, et cetera. So, like, in a show with a character named Tom Zarek,
Mm-hmm.
like, and a character who was introduced season one, so there was no way this character hadn't been introduced yet when somebody wrote this fucking book. They decided to name their lead character Tom Varick.
Hmm?
Whoever signed off on that, like, you know what, I don't even know if it's worth being mad at the writer, but somebody should have caught that. What the hell?
You know, Captain Burke of the USS Enter for a Prize would have a would have a problem with it, you know? Well, certainly they'll make an enemy of copyright law. And speaking of which, we are talking about the face of the enemy, the webisodes that released between the mid-season break of season 4 of Battlestar Galactica. So technically, just to note, these episodes actually released between episodes 10 and 11, but they take place where we're watching them between 11 and 12. So
Okay.
these came out like after the like in the break when we had seen the last thing that people had seen were like they had went to Earth and like that last shot of like everything being depressing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, to be fair, I don't think there was anything that happened in episode 11 that is particularly pertinent to what happened in these webisodes. So,
no, other than like the fact that they're back in space and running from Cavil Cylons is kind of a point addressed. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
mean,
but
it's an assumption you can make.
it's a very logical leap.
Yes, it's a very logical assumption from where we left, but it wasn't stated, so it is something that you have to be like, oh, I guess that's where that's gonna go. Well, you sure you're gonna get there, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only real thing to note with this. But there are 10 episodes, and I have broken them down into the 10 episode blocks here.
Yeah, because unfortunately, unlike the last time where it came conveniently prepackaged into a spliced together version, this time I had to actually watch it in chunks and like every 2 to 3 minutes be told to be continued.
Yep. Yep, I am sorry, but that's the only version of this I could find. I did find one on YouTube that was spliced together, but it didn't have the final episode because apparently they copyright claim that.
Weird.
Like every single like you can't even find the final episode on YouTube at all. Like there's episodes 1 through 8 and on their own. There's 2 compilations that have everything but the final episode, and I found like a comment from the person that apparently like whoever owns the rights to Battlestar Galactica was going around copyright claiming the final episode. So it was odd.
That's weird.
Yeah, just the final one. So odd and strange. So we have to do it this way. Okay, so let us start off with episode 1. We start off with we're 9 days after the discovery of Earth. And it's a flash forward already. We're doing the flash forward Battlestar Galactica
Just
thing.
it immediately. I just wrote down fucking flash forwards.
Yep.
They're back.
They're back, baby, even in the minisode. And it even has text that says Gata will find himself here. And we see, Gata on a raptor. He's dying. A timer's running down. There's flashes, a bunch of stuff that we're about to
There's a
watch.
ton of blood on his hands. Like, ooh, don't you want to find out what happens? Yes, that's why I was already gonna watch the fucking thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you have to stick out. I guess it's a little better here in the sense that like they're trying to get you to stick around for the 10 webisodes instead of just showing you something in the episode you're already watching.
It is mildly more defensible here, but just like as a practice in general, flash forwards just feel they feel like the most insecure thing ever. It's like, oh my God, what if somebody doesn't stick around for the story that they sat down to watch?
Mm-hmm.
If you're worried that your story is boring up until a certain point, so you feel the need to flash to that point, maybe make the story less boring rather than decide the fix is to flash me the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry. Long-standing hatred for flash forwards. They almost never work unless somebody is going way far out of their way to like fuck with the format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's only one time that comes immediately to mind where a flash forward works. I'm not going to say what it is because it'd be spoilers, but there is one. Anyways, we jump back to 3 days earlier. We have Gata is talking to Ty. They're in like the CIC area. Actually, no, they're in the like little mini map area where they push around little ships. Push around the little ships. Anyways, Ty is essentially forcing Gata to go on R&R, and Gata doesn't want to do that. He's like, you're on the verge of seeing ghosts on Dratus. Go over to the Zephyr, sleep for a week, and recover. So as Gata is about to head out, Lieutenant Hoshi comes up to him, gives him a bunch of morphine, and says, it was a tough get, but go feel better. And then they kiss. So Hoshi and Gata are in a relationship together, and presumably Hoshi is gay and Gata's bi, as we'll later learn this thing. I know, I know.
But okay. So I had to really step out of like my current state of mind and try and appreciate this for what this was at the time, because at the time it might not have been this case, but it is absolutely possible and understandable if they literally were not allowed to include a gay character in the main show, but were allowed to get away with it here. Like, I don't know for certain that's the case. There's also the possibility that they knew that people would assume that and they used that as a cover. But again, I will never know. But the reality of the landscape at that point in time for a show that didn't put queerness front and center, because those were starting to happen for sure, but to introduce queerness into what had up until this point, 4 seasons in, been a straight show, that is the kind of thing that might have been shut down or compromised down to you can have it in just the webisodes. So even though my gut instinct is to get upset that you quarantine the representation like this, I do have to remind myself that very well might literally have been the only way they were allowed to do it at all at the time.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Oh, interesting here. So there's an article here from The Advocate that was before this that was titled, Will Battlestar Galactica's Lieutenant Felix Gata Ever Come Out? So the Sci-Fi Network's Battlestar Galactica has touched on almost every political debate of the day except gay rights. But wait, is someone on the Galactica ship making a run from the closet door? I'm trying to think if there's any... So during a radio interview in Portland, Oregon, Galactica lead Katie Sackhoff, who plays Starbuck, was asked which character on the show she thought was gay. Sackhoff responded, "We think it's Gata. The blooper reel from every season has Gata always hitting on someone who is a man." Which is an interesting way to put that. Yeah, and there's like a lot of fan theories of people like rating him having feelings for Baltar, it looks like here. I'm trying to think see if there's anything that the writers ever said. No, this is just a lot of like fan speculation about the
I,
character. So
I was gonna
there was
say,
speculation around the character being gay, and like people behind the scenes of the show, like Katie Sackhoff discussed him being gay. I don't know what
like,
that equates to in the writers' room.
it helps that Katie Sackhoff like said something because otherwise, you know what it was reading as to me.
Hmm.
Just because they didn't hook him up with a fucking woman, people are like, "Is he gay?" I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
But like, look, seriously, for how fucked this show is with its sexualization of every woman and the fact that virtually every man has been paired off at least once.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
understand why they latched onto him, but at the same time, God, that's fucking sad.
yeah. Yeah, alas. But yes, I don't necessarily know all the politics behind the scenes of the show. But it is worth noting that the only time we got gay characters is in the webisode and in the movie Razor, which was the we're allowed to be rated R and edgy movie. So
Yes. And also,
there's
it's the villain.
yes, exactly. So it's like only when it's the villain and only when you have adult, it's adult content because, just gays existing as adult. Again, I don't necessarily put that on the show writers. Maybe, but we don't know
I
for
mean,
sure.
that's the thing.
Could have been
Like
anything.
it is kind of our inclination to like give the writers a pass, but the thing is, we don't know if their hand was forced or if they just or if this was just how they would have done it anyway. We can't know either way.
All
It's
I
it's not fair to condemn them because we can't know, but it's also presumptive to praise them and assume that they would have done more if they could have,
the
because
only
many
th-
would not.
the only thing that I can say in the writer's defense, or at least a line where they're at, is Ronald D. Moore. Even at the time that Deep Space Nine was coming out, there was message boards, and he had a quote saying, "There are people on the show who do not want characters to be gay," and the presumption was Rick Berman.
I mean,
Um,
that given his history, that is a very safe assumption.
Yes. So there's at least something of like Ronald D. Moore was willing to talk about wanting gay characters on Deep Space Nine, which was for Galactica. So he was at least aware of queer people. Now, whether or not that applies to him wanting to have thought about getting to around to putting them in his show overtly outside of the webisodes or whatever, I don't know. But at least shows an inclination of to him of to think about it.
Well, I
So
mean, at least in the 90s, he got in the memo, hey, gays exist.
yes, yes,
So he
yes.
was aware.
Yes. Apparently all the writers knew the character Garrick was gay. Ira Stephen Bear. I mean, like, if we ever watch Deep Space Nine, literally the first time you see Garrick, you're like, oh yeah, that man wants to fuck this guy. Uh, anyways, um, so, yeah, Ada and Hoshi are together. They kiss. Gata goes down to the Raptor shuttle bay where he runs into Brooks, who is a mechanic who is coming with them over to the Zephyr. He's going on maintenance detail. And then two eights are coming with them as
Mm-hmm.
well. And so, like, skin jobs. I'm going to call one Dead Eight. And I'm gonna call the other one Sus Aaron, instead of Sharon, Sus Aaron. I was watching that Among Us animated show, so I was just thinking about that. So
How is that, by the way? I watched the trailer and I'm like, okay.
it's actually not bad. Brian David Gilbert wrote for it, and it's actually pretty solid. It's a bit like hyper, like someone drank a mountain, like 20 Mountain Dews. But it's good. It's fun. So I enjoyed it. I'm in for Brian David Gilbert for writing stuff. So yeah. Anyways, and the episodes are only 15 minutes long, and there's only 10 of them, so it's not a hard investment.
I still have to finish freaking Spider Noir. I've still got 3 episodes left on that.
Yeah, yeah. I like Spider Noir. It was fun. Just for Nicolas Cage, it was a good time. And speaking of Garrick, Andrew Robinson's in that as well. So he's the guy from Hellraiser, who is like in the first Hellraiser movie. I forget his name. First, the guy who gets taken over by the other guy, the
Oh,
dad,
Jesus.
the dad.
Yes.
I forget his character's name in Hellraiser, but the dad in Hellraiser.
I don't think anybody remembers that character's name.
Oh, I don't remember either, but I know it's Andrew Robinson, who plays my favorite character in Deep Space Nine. Anyways, going back, let's see. Two eights are coming with them. Gata trips on the way up the Raptor, but one of the eights, I believe Sus Aaron, helps him up. There's two pilots in there whose names I did not get. There's girl pilot and guy pilot. And they said they're going to be 50 minutes. They're going to, they have like a little in-flight crew joke and they're heading off to the Zephyr. But as they're heading off to the Zephyr, some Cylons supposedly are starting attack, and so the fleet has to jump. And so the Raptor has to jump before they get to the Zephyr, and when they jump, they realize that they are nowhere near the fleet.
Yep.
Bum, bum, bum. Like, gasp.
Boy, good thing they put that flash forward in. It's not like putting a character that's been on the show the whole time out in the middle of deep space with no way back is a hook in and of itself.
Yeah. With a bunch of characters who are definitely important and will be coming back. And will definitely survive this webisode series. All right, so we're back on the Raptor in episode 2. They start trying to call for other ships. They try to, like, one of the pilots is sort of adamant that she entered the coordinates correctly. And they decide to try and jump back to where they were, where the fleet was, because maybe the fleet would leave a Raptor there. At least they assume they would. They have a little bit of an argument about that, but they think so that would happen. But the jump drive's not responding because they found out that they don't have enough fuel to get back. So they're kind of fucked. We have a little bit that I like here where Brooks is praying to a Poseidon medal, and one of the eights sort of says, like, well, we're a long way from water, and Brooks says it's a ship, isn't it?
I did like that line.
Yeah, that's a good little line there. More religious stuff that we've gotten in pretty much the whole show of building out the gods' religion.
Honestly, yeah, it's like it's been a while. Like so much of it is just like, oh, and these sacred books, and oh, Athena. Like it's just words. It's just fucking. Again, this show does not understand faith at all. It thinks it does, and it doesn't.
But I did like this Poseidon medal bit. That was good.
No, it's a good bit. It's a good moment.
Yeah,
it's the kind of thing it would have been nice to see more of across the show.
Anyways, yes, they realize they can't jump back to where they started. And so Gata sort of joining, like, we have to get non-linear to possibly go back. And Gata sort of figures out that, like, maybe no one fucked up. It might have just been that a particle, like, came through their ship at the right moment and flipped a 1 to a 0, essentially, that shot them off here. And while everyone's sort of arguing about this, Sus Aaron looks over at Gata and says, "Do you recognize me? It's me." So Gata knows this Sus Aaron. Then we cut to, yes.
Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Basically. We then cut to the Galactica, and Lieutenant Hoshi's talking with Ty. Hoshi's talking about, it was a false alarm. Everyone has jumped back, but it's been over 2 days and they're not back here, which this confused me. Like, 2 days? It's been 2 days? And that was odd. It was just odd to establish that it had been 2 days since they disappeared, especially since we're going to cut back to the Raptor in a second, and they just then, like, said, oh, we have 20 hours of air left. And I'm like, so after 2 days, you start going, maybe we should worry about air? Like, it was just an odd...
Well, they do have a line to kind of explain that because they have fewer air reserves than they're supposed to have.
Yeah.
So, but like, which is like a soft cover for it.
Yeah, but it's like, so it's just I was just very confused as to, like, why we would establish it's been 2 days. It just raises too many questions that didn't need to be there by never establishing that. It could have just been 2 hours. It's been 2 hours, and it would have been just as fine. Anyways, it was an odd line. But yes, Ty's like, what would you have us do? Jump randomly? And Hoshi sort of does the big gay moment where he says, well, something led us to Earth. And, me and Felix, there's something between us, and there's too much loss already. And Ty sort of says, run it by the old man. And we get the whole, like, moment of, like, oh, Ty, like, it's not said, but it very much has this vibe of, like, Ty realizes that he's gay and he's accepting. Is kind of the vibe of it.
I kind of hate this moment because of what it implies. Because it implies that this is a society that it's not, that he can't just come out and say it.
Yep.
And so, intentionally or not, this entire storyline both introduces gay and queer people to the society and immediately shoves them in the closet by implication, not by primary storyline. So I assume it's a thoughtless result. It's something that the writers did not think through, that this moment where the dude can't even say the word gay and you have Ty being like, oh, I see what's going on, that to a straight writer, especially at the time, probably read to them as like, oh, it's nice, he gets it. I'm like, no, it's bad, because you're implying that he has to get it because the other guy can't just fucking say it. And that
Yes.
says something about the world you built.
Yes. And I will at least give them this. When we go to Caprica, one of the characters is out and gay, and there's not a big deal made of it, which is nice. So,
Which retroactively makes this make no fucking sense.
yeah. I mean, the way I would explain it would be that like different culture, like maybe military culture has like they still have a don't ask, don't tell policy would be the explanation, which is still
That's
bad. That's
that's
bad. I'm just saying,
yes.
well, I'm just saying the world took, if you wanted to like world build consistency.
See, the thing is, my frustration isn't even necessarily with the specifics of the world that is being
Oh,
built. It's
no,
it's
no.
it's that it feels like a completely thoughtless result. It feels like people who put no thought into what this implies, and therefore, without meaning to, they have created a homophobic society, and they probably didn't even realize it. And that fact alone kind of ticks me off.
Well, here's my thing. The reason I'm sort of saying is like the big gay moment. It's like I don't think it was thoughtless. I think it was they wanted to have a moment of like, look, see, as you just said, Ty's accepting, and not like, because that was what the world that this show was being written in at the time. And by doing so, they're imagining a society that reflects our own, not something that's better than our own. And it just reveals the limited imagination of the very hetero and normative writers of the time.
Yep.
So that's
which
that's
is
yes.
which is frustrating and boring to me.
Yes, I agree 100%, but it is a reflection of the limited and narrow assumptions of the heteronormative writers. So,
Mm-hmm.
anyways, um yes. So we jump back to the Raptor. They say they have enough food and water for 2 weeks, but they do have a limited amount of air. So they have 20 hours left. Every breath counts. And so they might start experiencing memory loss, irrational behavior, and dizziness over the next 20 hours.
Well, the reason for that is very specific, because they cut down to a lower oxygen level to buy more time.
Yes. Yes.
So they're only at like 68% of what the oxygen level should be.
Yes. Jump to episode 3. Brooks starts taking a look at some of the scrubbers because there's something going on with like the air scrubbers and things like that. And Gata goes and talks to Sus Aaron and says, "You're her." And we get a little flashback to New Caprica between Gata and Sus Aaron, where they're in a tent. And Gata gives Sus Aaron a list of something. We don't necessarily see what it is just yet. Brooks, back in the present, says there's a loose connection, but he can't get to it. So the other eight, dead eight, says, "Let me do it." She goes under and she gets electrocuted and dies. And it turns out her pliers, the insulating grip, have been stripped off. And now we are left to wonder who did that. Who
Dun dun
killed dead
dun.
Aaron, or dead 8, I should say. Excuse me. Um, Episode 4, the guy pilot, says the grip wore off. Someone did that. And they start accusing the Brooks, being like, "You didn't notice that was bare metal." And he's like, "Look, I was the one that was supposed to get killed," because people start accusing him. I think one of the sus-8 starts accusing him. Gata says, "Stop, it was an accident. What are we going to do with her, like the dead 8?" And I did like that they acknowledged this, because like people are like, "Well, we can just leave her. We don't want to. If we open up and jettison her, we'll like lose air." But they make a point of like, "No, she's gonna give off methane, which will actually cut their air even more."
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing. So they all put on flight suits and they shove her into space. And then while they're doing this, I keep wanting to say Sus Aaron, that's correct. Says, I know too many Aarons, so I have nicknames for so many things in my life. So I'm trying to say Sus Sharon, but Sus Aaron's how it works. But then I'm just thinking Aaron. Wait, what? Anyways.
So of the errands in your real life, which one's the sus one?
The most Sus Aaron? I would say my partner just because she would fuck with me. She would be the one. No, just because all my other errands would be nice, my partner would fuck with me. She would be the
Okay.
one to fuck with me.
I'm going to tell her you said that.
Do it, do it. I think she'll find it funny. Anyways, uh, during all of this, Sus Aaron talks to Gata and says, I have an idea to get us home, but I need help. I'll tell you when they're asleep. Um,
Yeah, that's not fucking suspicious.
no, not sus at all. No, 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 no. We then get another flashback again. And this is where we kind of learn what Gata has been doing with Sus Aaron back on New Caprica, where Gata has been giving Sus Aaron a list of names. He says he hasn't seen these people in a long time, and Sus Aaron says, "Well, the ones Cavils keep good records. I can get them out. We can do this really." So Sus Aaron is helping Gata get people out of the prison that's there on New Caprica, at least supposedly. And then on the Galactica, Hoshi takes out a raptor with Racetrack to go hunting for Gata.
Yep.
So, all right, we start off episode 5 with the Jettison 8 into space. Sus Aaron feels sad. They have 16 hours of air left. Everyone's asleep. Then while Gata is sleeping, he starts feeling pain with his amputated leg. And so he starts taking out morphine for the pain. And we see that he's been definitely, because he has like a lot of bruises in his arm, so he's definitely been taking a lot of morphine over time.
Yeah.
Um,
I actually appreciate the fact that that is a visual detail that otherwise does not have attention drawn to it this episode.
mhm.
Like the idea that he is maybe taking more painkillers than he should be, or has been doing it for longer than he should be, is something visually acknowledged but never becomes a plot point. And I actually kind of appreciate that because this is not a story that needs a, oh, and he's got a drug problem fucking subplot, but it does feel like a fleshing out and an acknowledging of his reality at this point, that this is just what his life is. It's
Yes.
actually it I say it's a small detail. Attention is drawn to it, but like narratively nothing comes of it. So it didn't have to be there. So I kind of appreciate that it is.
Yep. Uh, Sus Aaron sees him getting high. And then we get a flashback again. Eight gives him Gata names of people of like, Jeremiah, he died in detention. This woman killed herself, but these two got out, but no one knows what happened to the child. And Sus Aaron starts crying. She's like, I tried so hard. And then Gata comforts her and says, you saved so many of them. And Sus Aaron says, you can think of more names, write more lists. And Gata says, thank you. And they kiss. I knew you would do it. Listener.
Here's the thing. If this was done now, I might even praise this as like, a nice bit of bi representation. And I know it is technically still that. However, I can't find any reason to praise it in this instance for two reasons. While I did have to like remind myself, like, what was the landscape like, back at that point in time, and taking that landscape into account, this comes across less like bi representation and more like, see, he's not totally gay. So that's the first thing. But then the other thing is, Ron, is there a single fucking woman that you will not do this to? You've already done it to her. You've done it to this character repeatedly, multiple incarnations of the same person, and you had to do it again?
Win the gay man.
Fucking.
Or I guess bi, if I'm going to be back. I guess.
Fucking why? God damn it. And I saw it coming. I saw it coming like 30 seconds before it happened because I just noticed their position
They
in
had
the
the kiss
camera.
shot. They had the kiss
I'm
shot.
like,
Yeah.
well, even before it was like the shot where it's like it's definitely gonna happen. Just sort of seeing, and there was this little pause in the slinger. I was like, oh, fuck, god damn it. I hate that it keeps happening. I hate that I can see it coming. I hate that it's so predictable, and I hate that it's stupid and sucks and never helps anything. Here's the really infuriating thing: what ultimately is being done with her, I'll kind of skip to the end and say they had a really interesting idea with her, and it's fucking wasted in this.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, we will get there. Well,
Yeah.
we then come back out of the flashback. It's 14 hours of air now. And uh, Sus Aaron tells Gata, I have something I can interface with the Raptor's computer to determine the missing address. And Gata's like, oh yeah, one of you did it that one time with your arm thing. And we all kind of collectively forgot that that was a thing that you could do until just
Yeah.
now.
And we've been acting as if you're exactly the same as humans ever since, even though that's a thing.
Yeah. Well, now we're bringing it back. We're bringing it back, baby. It's coming back. Um, and Sus Aaron says, well, if the others see me doing it, they're going to think I'm sabotaging it. So I need you to stand guard. Um, and, she shows him like a wire that she can use. But then he goes and looks over at Brooks, who is, we find out, dead. He is injected with a lethal dose of Gata's morphine.
Which is
And
apparently like two doses in rapid succession because he
only
has
two
two
needles.
syringes by him.
Yeah. Sus Aaron, before anyone else wakes up, says, I won't tell them to Gata, meaning the fact that you have the morphine or whatever, I'm assuming. The girl pilot gets up and she starts blaming Sus Aaron. And Gata's like, we don't know. And Sus Aaron's like, I understand, it's okay. Episode 6 starts. We start off with Lieutenant Hoshi with Racetrack, and they are looking for Gata, and they keep jumping to spots, not finding him, and so they go, well, spin the dial, we'll keep looking. Then we back on the Raptor, 9 hours left. Gata is dreaming, and we have flashbacks of this whole past few episodes that we've been watching because we need to fill out the 2
Yeah,
minutes.
there's multiple of these episodes, which again are sometimes as short as 2 minutes, where like they flash back to earlier, or like the first 30 seconds of the new episode is the last 30 seconds of the previous episode. Okay.
Gotta fill that time. Gotta fill that time.
Mm.
But he wakes up, and Sus Aaron undid her restraints because she'd been tied up. And Gata says, well, I was going to untie you. And Sus Aaron says, well, that's trusting. We get some cool music here. There's some cool, fun music here where Gata helps Sus Aaron inject the cord into her wrist.
There's the stupidest line in the process of this, though.
Yeah.
So Aaron takes a scalpel and like cuts a pretty deep gouge into her palm. And Gata says, that looks like it hurts. No shit. What the? Like, it's a close-up. It's a close-up. We see the cut and the blood flow. That looks like it hurts. Any other searing insights you want to add to this moment?
I do like, I think I know the exact moment. I think that line was ADR'd too, because you don't see his face saying it too.
That's true. That's true. They fucking added it in because they thought somehow the audience wouldn't get
that it hurt.
How it hurts to cut your fucking palm open.
I think they wanted to make it clear that it hurt because it might not hurt because she's a Cylon would be the implication, but like I think we got it. Anyways,
that's a fucking terrible
helps her inject herself with the line. We do start to hear some things where she's like saying she's lightheaded from the low oxygen. It's making it hard for her to project. And then it's like some weird like relationshipy stuff where he's like, where are you trying to project? And he's like, where I'm trying to project. And then they almost kiss again. He says, I have someone now. And she says, good, you deserve it. You always did. And then they do kiss.
What the fuck?
It's like, why is it? Yeah.
Like, honestly, even more so than the first kiss, what the fuck is this? Because, like, if anyone thought I was being unfair when I said before about how it didn't feel like bi representation, it felt like, oh, this makes him less gay. This shit. He literally says, I'm with someone. The other someone he's with is with a man. And then he makes out with this fucking woman. Don't fucking tell me that it's not what I said it was.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like bi representation. It feels like we need to make it less gay.
And if it is bi representation, then we're just leading into the bisexuals are whores bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Whores and cheat on you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking as a bisexual whore, yeah. I take offense.
Yeah, because I want to be clear. Being a whore doesn't necessarily mean you cheat on people.
No. Look, I don't need to get into my relationship history. I'm not saying I've ever been perfect, but since I have been a whore, I have not cheated.
So yeah, I would want to make that delineation clear here. Anyways, they Sus Sus Aaron says they found the coordinates. She gets ready to jump. I'm taking us home. We go to episode 7. Hoshi and Racetrack are on the rescue mission together, and Racetrack is doing the whole like "I'm cool with the gays" lines,
Yeah.
which is like, "I'm happy you two got together. Took you long enough, even though we've never seen you have any meaningful screen time together. But you know, we were all definitely talking about it just off camera."
Yeah.
Uh,
Everybody knew and everyone was totally chill with it the whole time, we swear.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and
Ugh.
Hoshi does the like he does like he's got this fire about doing the right thing. I did like this moment at least where Racetrack's like, a moral core thing. You don't see a lot of that because it'll get you killed. And then she goes, crap, I didn't mean. And he goes, no, it's fine. Let's keep looking.
Yeah.
So I did like that beat. But their whole like, hey, I was definitely cool with the gays off screen beforehand bit was the whole thing. And it's also just more of less that we're cool with the gays. It's more of a, yeah, this was definitely a thing that has been going on in the show in the background up
Oh
until this
yeah.
point.
There have totally been gay people here the whole time.
Yeah, that that was definitely the vibe. Anyways, back on the Raptor, they have 8 hours of air left. There's nothing on Dratus, but Sus Aaron says she'll send out a pulse if they're in system. They'll come running, maybe about 10 hours. Gata goes up to tell Finn and Ezrin, which I now notice the name of the pilots. I think this is the first time we get their names, but don't worry, they're both already dead.
Yeah, they both had their throats cut. Like I
Yeah.
had a note that was like, when the fuck did she do that? Except that I'm sure there's an answer, and also I don't care.
Well, I mean, Gata, if we recall, Gata woke up and she had like untied herself. So it was presumably while Gata was sleeping, and then he just, because he was like, we have to keep quiet, he didn't go up and check on them because he thought
Yeah,
they were
it's
sleeping
still
as
one of
well.
those things that's jarring because he's been awake so long at this point.
He just didn't notice, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those like he thought that they were sleeping, and she told him to like keep quiet. So I could buy it. It's a little stretching the imagination. They didn't like glance over and catch like a reflection in the glass of blood everywhere because they were pretty damn bloody.
Well, they were
Um,
pretty damn bloody, and also forgive me for being gross, but this little webisode was already addressing the biological reality of a dead body. He should have smelled that they shat themselves.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Also, that's the other thing too with them. It's been 2 days. Where have they been shitting? Because presumably it's been like 3 days at this point. So
I mean that there has to be a waste disposal because like
does there?
Adama was camped out in a raptor for ages.
That's
Like,
true.
and these things like they were equipped for food and water for like a week. You wouldn't equip something with that
True.
stuff and not a facility for waste disposal.
That's true. It's true. It's probably one of those like fold out seats sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, been awkward for everybody, I'm sure.
Well, yes. It's for
Anyways,
function, not for comfort.
yes. Episode 8, we cut back to Hoshi and Racetrack, and they have just done another jump, and it's like, all right, should we try another? And Hoshi said, he wouldn't give up, and so they're about to make a jump, and then Hoshi goes, is this crazy? And Race says, yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, but look, he would give up on you if it didn't make sense. He'd have to. He'd understand. Do you want to go home? And so we leave that on that cliffhanger there. But we jump back to the Raptor. And Gata's doing the whole like, oh, you've been the architect of my pain this whole time. I was like, you're the one that stripped the pliers. And she's like, yeah, I didn't think he'd hand them to her, but same difference. And you killed them all. And her argument is, well, I did it because we needed the air. Felix, I picked you over my own kind, over my own model. I protected you from something you never could have done, but we're always thinking about. Gata rips out the cord from her wrist, and he's like, no one could think about this. And she says, Felix, is a fine line between ignorance and hope. I thought you would have learned that by now. You have to open your eyes and see what this world is really like. You gave me the names. The rest was easy. We flash back in time, and while Gata is sleeping, Sus Aaron talks to another 8 on New Caprica, gives that other 8 the list, and says that Gata gave her, and says, kill everyone on this list. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she's been using him for information on New Caprica. So,
Yeah.
which is dark.
it's dark, but like this is the thing that I mean, like this entire plot line could have been something
Mm-hmm.
and could have been interesting. It needed to be spread out over more time. Honestly, this particular eight needed to have been introduced back on New
New Caprica.
Caprica, at least as a concept.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it could have explored some interesting notions because initially it begs the question, like, okay, this is an eight who appears to be going against all the rest. Why is she like that? Why is she different from the others? Only to find out that she isn't so different, but also at the same time she is, because eights aren't usually this brutal. So
Mm-hmm.
there is still something, maybe not fully unique, but something different about her versus the others. It's just in the opposite direction of what we would have been initially presented. And there's something there. There's something to be mined there. This format doesn't fucking do it any justice.
No, yeah, and it also been done something for Gata back then too, because we had this whole thing about like Gata being the one who like he's the one who's the good one in Baltar's administration and feeding information, and now we have this sort of like, oh, he was also sleeping with the enemy sort of thing, which would have added an interesting moral gray to his character at that point too.
I'm going to disagree with that part because I hate that fucking everybody has to be sleeping with everybody. But like,
Yeah, I
you're
mean,
not
true.
wrong. I would still have hated
I
it.
mean, let me put it this way: it didn't need to be he was sleeping with her, but he was working with her. I think would be like an interesting, like that's interestingly enough. You know
Well,
what I
yes,
mean?
but it's a Ronald D. Moore show. You can't have two people of the opposite sex in a room alone, and actually in communication with each other, and not have that happen. So
Yeah.
what can you do? Hands tied. It's fuck o'clock.
That's a quote. That's a quote. Hands tied, it's fuck clock. Oh,
Uh,
that's a good quote. I like that one. Save that one for the t-shirt.
that one's semi stolen to be fair.
Is
There
it?
was a Yahtzee Croshaw line in one of his reviews. He ended a review with uh
And annoying as it is that there's only so much you can do until you have to wait another day, it's well documented that that's how these games turn into habits. If you set out to masturbate once a day, within about 2 weeks you're not even doing it because you want to anymore. You're all like, well, what can I do? Hands tied, it's wank o'clock.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Well, episode 9 begins. Gata is sort of reeling from this revelation. He's like, I saw them. I saw these people that I saved. I saw them. I saw Pembroke. You couldn't have killed them. And she says, you saw what you wanted to see, and then also says, I did save a few just to make you not think about the rest. Um, and then, which I liked that idea. Then she has a weird line that like didn't need to be framed this way.
I know what line. I know what line. Hit
Yeah.
me.
She says, so Saren says, I'm a woman and a Cylon. I didn't seduce you. Hope seduced you.
The second half of that
Yeah.
line is fine. But there is no reason for the I'm a woman also a Cylon. Like, okay, factually correct, but what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Like,
Like if it had been I'm a woman and I'm a Cylon, I seduced you, I would have been like, that's sexist and fucking weird, but would have been pertinent, I guess.
well, see, unfortunately, there's only one thing that I can think of as a possible intended meaning, and it's worse than that.
Uh-huh.
I'm a woman and a Cylon, parentheses, unspoken parts. Of course I used and manipulated you.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the
Yeah.
like thing that I think it's being read as, and that's what I thought it was going. And then she goes, "I'm not the one who seduced you." I'm like, so it's like, so it's not the sexist implication. But
Yeah,
then
I
why
don't
would you
I
bring it
don't
up
know
either?
I
It's a
don't know what
weird.
the fuck that part of that line is. Because
Yeah.
again, the hope seduced you thing, that's actually kind of a great line. Like the idea that he just latched on to anything that gave him any amount of hope, and he latched onto it so hard that he displaced romantic and or sexual feelings into it. That could be a thing. That's like an interesting idea, an interesting line. What the fuck is I'm a woman and also a Cylon? What the
Oh,
fuck?
you know what?
Oh boy.
I think I got it.
Okay.
It's to say, oh, you're gay. Why would you sleep with me? I'm a woman and I'm a Cylon. So you wouldn't have done that if it had been any. I think that's actually what it was supposed to be. I think we're supposed to read it as he's gay, and the only reason he slept with her because Hope seduced him, not that she's a woman or a Cylon, because neither of those things would be something he would want as a gay man. I think that's the implication now that I'm thinking about it. I think that's what it meant.
That tracks. I don't like it.
I think that's like I'm just realizing now. I think that's what that was supposed to be. I think she's saying, "I'm a woman in a Cylon. You wouldn't have wanted to fuck me for those reasons. The only reason you would is if Hope seduced you. It wasn't me who seduced you." I think that's what it's trying to say. Doesn't come across really.
No, like that line doesn't flow at all. It feels like two completely separate thoughts the way it's delivered.
Well, I think the reason it doesn't work is because like we've been reading them as bi.
Well,
right?
yeah,
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
the thing.
Yeah,
we got to go back to fucking 2007 or 8 or whatever fucking year this piece of shit came out in, where it's like, no, there are gays and there are straights.
Yes.
Obviously,
there are no bi people.
Obviously, he's a gay. So, why did he do it? Oh, he was seduced by Hope.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think we are too aware of bisexual people in a way that the writers were not. And I think it's just that. I think they thought like, yeah, he's gay. So like, why would, and I don't think thought they needed to explain it. I think that's what that line means now that I think about it.
Have I mentioned lately that I hate this show?
Yeah.
Because I do. I hate this fucking show.
Yeah, I'm glad that we figured that out together.
I'm not sure I am. I think I preferred being confused.
Well, you like men and women, Vera. You are confused.
You are lucky that you are not within arm's reach of me right now. Because God damn it.
I say this as a fellow bi. It's fine. Give me anybody. I'll fuck anyone. It's fine. Anyways. Yeah, so back to that line. Hope seduced you. You kept yourself blind. And she goes, you kill when you have to. You kill the ones your enemies love the most. It's basic. You should know that. And Gaeta goes, I trusted you. How could I have guessed? And now we're gonna get the retcon moment where she's like, well, Baltar guessed. Baltar kind of assumes us the whole time, and we kind of it gets cut up. But we get the flashback to at the end of season 3 during the Baltar trial sequence or time period where Gaeta goes in to talk to Baltar, and Baltar whispered in his ear. I think this is right before Gaeta like tried to stab him. But we essentially like see that whole sequence play out where he's sort of saying like, I had a literal gun to my head. What made you, do what you did? And then he goes over and whispers in his ear, and we never learned what that was. And he says, I know what your 8 did, is what he said.
Which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Because in that episode, whatever he whispered like set Gaeta off. Mm-hmm. But the implication of this whole minisode thing is that Gaeta didn't know what she was doing. So that phrase shouldn't fucking mean anything to him.
Oh, no. Well, I think, yes, it should. I think what the point that Sus Aaron is making here is that Gaeta knew the whole time. He just didn't say anything.
Which is such a fucking cop out.
It's like he buried it. Like, not that he didn't say anything. Like, he mentally himself didn't want to acknowledge it. So he, buried that cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, which I'm sorry, as a writing device, is a cop out. It is a cheat. It is cheating to do this whole, like when you run into a situation where logistically it doesn't make sense that someone knew something, and to pull you knew the whole time, but you wouldn't let yourself believe. And 99% of the time, that is bullshit to cover a plot hole. Mm-hmm. And fuck off, bullshit. Mm-hmm. The instant this bit happened, I just had the thought like, this is the entire reason this series of webisodes exists, is to tie up whatever the fuck that whisper is. They decided what that is, and the rest of this was reverse engineered to justify that, a moment that I'd fucking forgotten about and didn't care.
We gotta tie up all the loose ends, Vera. It's the final season. Anyways, Gaeta like screams and yells at this because the cognitive dissonance comes crashing down on him. And we jump over to episode 10 where Gaeta has now killed Sus Aaron. She is dead. Gaeta then takes the morphine and it looks like he's going to try to die by suicide, but then he decides not to. And he starts singing to himself the song that he sang back when he had just had his amputation a few episodes ago. And right then, Hoshi finds Gaeta. The light shines on him and he's saved. It turns out like Sus Aaron actually was trying to save them and everything. And so we have Gaeta in the med bay and such, and he's all saved. Then we get a scene between Tai and Gaeta, where Tai's like, hey, strange things can happen. Wouldn't even trust your own memory on this, which again alludes to the theme of like, his memory, he buried his own memory sort of thing. And he's like, since you're the only human survivor, the old man isn't going to make a huge issue out of it and risk the alliance. And Gaeta says there shouldn't be an alliance. And Tai says, well, the silent technology is going to keep this fleet moving. And Gaeta says, well, I need to speak to the admiral. And Tai says, why? And Gaeta says, because you're a Cylon to Tai. And Tai sort of acknowledges this and says, all right. Like he's like, true. He doesn't really say that, but he sort of, that's the read on the acronym. He's like, there's a meeting later today to discuss some idea of Tyrrell's, and we can discuss your idea there. So that will come up presumably, I think, next episode. And then we cut to the final scene between Hoshi and Gaeta. And Hoshi is sort of asking Gaeta, why would you set up a meeting with him of all people? Not meaning Adama, meaning someone else. And Gaeta says, I found you and I'll protect you. And if this doesn't work, you should have a bright future. And as Gaeta leaves, Hoshi says, what are you going to do in the next episode? And we cut.
That won't involve me, and I'll probably never show up again.
Yeah. Well, he'll show up again, but whether if you ever hope that they'll acknowledge their relationship ever again after this point, you'll be waiting a while. So, yeah, there's Gaeta's up to something.
Okay.
Any desire to guess who he's making a meeting with?
No, I don't care. I honestly just assumed that what was being referred to was the fact that he talked with Tai and he doesn't like Tai.
No.
And the guy was asking, like, why would you like talk to him instead of going to somebody else? Because again, I don't fucking care.
Yeah. No, Hoshi was talking about someone else. Gaeta's set up a meeting with mystery person.
Okay.
So, yeah. All right. What did you think of the episode? I'm not going to do spoiler a minute because everything that'll come up here.
Fuck you for making me watch this. Fuck you for making me watch more of this show than anybody listening or watching this podcast would have expected me to have to watch of this show. Fuck you.
You're watching all of it, baby. The only thing you are not watching, and I almost considered making you watch of all the Galactica stuff, because I'm going to make you go through it all, was there for the Razor movie, there were also additional flashbacks that they cut from Adama stuff that they made into more Mobisodes. And I'm like, we don't need
you told me about that.
Yeah, so that's literally by the end of this journey, you'll have seen all of it except for like 10 minutes of that footage, not even.
I just, and again, as has been the case, it's not that there's literally no good ideas here. There is, in the storyline of this particular 8, there is something interesting there with having, something that could, in terms of the audience expectation, play into the fact that the audience has kind of adopted the 8 as like the good one, and to have that flipped on them with the way that she actually ends up behaving, like there's something there. There's something worth mining there. It is wasted on this format. It is wasted on this bullshit who fucking cares story. I just, and again, as keeps happening, even though I can spot some good, all of the bullshit that I fucking hate is also here.
Yeah. I don't, again, I'm still on I don't hate it as much as you, but yes, the bullshit is here. what it is. There are a few things that I do like this for. Like I said, we're going to talk about it next episode, but there is some interesting motivational stuff here for Gata that I do actually like for what he's about to do. A storyline that's going to come that I think is interesting. And this kind of adds some interesting depth to that. But we'll get there next week. And this does tie up a plot hole that no one remembered nor cared about, but it was there. Not a plot hole, just a thing life dangling that
unanswered question.
Yeah. So we at least get that answered, I guess, in this thing. So there you go. Yeah, it's whatever. It's
if you
fine.
want a late prediction of who he's going to meet with, the only person that I think could be even vaguely interesting is if it's Zarek.
We'll see.
Because I miss him. I need someone to come in and be right again about things. So I would appreciate that just as a way to get him back in the fucking show.
We shall see. We'll see next week. We'll find out. Yeah. Well, okay. We'll do that next week. But yes, we're going to do that. So for listeners, just to keep everyone up to date on how we're going to watch this, I think what I'm going to do for this, so we can get this iteration of Galactica out of the way so you never have to watch it again, Vera.
Please.
We won't have to have a thing dangling before we get to the fun Camp 80 show, or I guess 70 show, is we're going to watch the next 4 episodes of the show. So episodes, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So yeah, next 4 episodes. Then we're going to watch The Plan. So we'll watch that one. Then we're going to watch 16, 17, 18. Then we're going to watch the prequel movie Blood and Chrome, which is the prequel movie about Adama that was meant to be the pilot for another show. Because we'll just put it there so that we can end with the finale, because 19 and 20 are they're together and they're a 2-hour episode finale. Okay. So that's how we're going to watch this. So for next 4 episodes, after 15, we'll stop and watch The Plan. 16, 17, 18, we'll watch Blood and Chrome. And then we're going to watch the 19 and 20 series finale of Galactica. And then you never have to see the Galactica ever again. You'll see Caprica, so you'll be in this universe, but you'll never have to see the Starship Galactica or the Battlestar Galactica this iteration ever again.
Look, I will try and be fair to Caprica when we get to it, but Jesus Christ, man. I'm so fucking done with this show. I'm so fucking done.
We're almost there.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, you just you just have 9 episodes and 2 movies.
I'm waiting for the runner's high to kick in, like when people run a marathon, just to get me over the fucking hump.
I will say we're about to hit my favorite storylines. Like these are my I know I've said it before, but these are my
Yes,
favorite
you have.
These legitimately are my favorite storylines. We haven't even gotten to the thing I literally wrote an entire like class thesis on in college. So there's good coming up. How good? Who knows? How tolerable it'll be? Who knows? But stuff that I remember fondly.
Okay. Good luck.
So.
I feel like at this point the remaining episodes being good matters more to you than it does to me.
Let me put it this way. There's one scene in this show that I rewatch religiously every so often. I've rewatched it recently. I rewatched it just because like, is this so good? I'm like, no, that's a good scene. So there's at least one really great scene coming up.
See, the thing is,
stuck in my brain.
I wouldn't even doubt that. Because there have been good scenes, even in the middle of shit episodes. That doesn't help.
Well, Vera, I'm a woman and a Cylon.
God
so,
fucking.
With that said.
That's it. Podcast over. Goodbye.
Well, then I'll just do my stuff. You can find my stuff at Jesse Gender. I do YouTube video essays. My Starfleet Academy video should hopefully be out by this point. It's literally just what's weird about this is I submitted all of my copyright what's the fucking word? Why I can't disputes, copyright disputes. I could not think of the word fucking disputes. Submitted all my copyright disputes that I got in the video. All of the ones from Paramount are gone now. The only ones that are left is I use a background music site called Motion Array, and I license music from that. And the way that Motion Array works is it will copyright claim your music, but then you just submit the license that you have, like a PDF, and they'll remove the licensing thing. And usually they do that within like 30 minutes of me submitting the dispute, even if it's like at 2 a.m. sometimes. But this time they've just stuck on there, and they're the only things that I'm fucking waiting for on this video, which is annoying.
See, that's why on the rare occasions that I use music, I just go to Incompetech.
Yeah. Well, I've gotten bored of that music. I've used so much of it, and music is so integral to my videos. So, yeah. So
you do know he keeps making new stuff, right?
Oh, I'm aware, but like everyone uses it. So like even when he does new stuff, everyone then else starts using it in their own videos, so that because I check. And I go and listen to it, and then it's like I've heard this one in a video, and I don't want to use ones that I've heard in other people's videos. You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
It literally takes me like 3 days to score my videos, which stresses me out because I'm like, yeah, I'll do this. I'll score this video in a day, and then it takes me like 3 fucking days because I care. I'm like, I should just put on lo-fi, whatever the fuck. But then I care.
and this is why I almost never use music in my videos.
I know, but you know my videos where I have music breaks and add little like
I know
flourishes. Yeah.
I'm aware of your fucking mini movies or full length movies in some fucking cases.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Or trilogy length fucking videos.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, you can find my stuff there. So that the Starfleet Academy video should hopefully be out. Again, I'm literally just waiting on the copyright claims. So that'll be there. Jesse Ginger After Dark, where I do news, reviews, reactions. I will be reviewing Star Trek Strange New Worlds as it's coming out. I'll also be reviewing House of the Dragon. That'll be coming up soon. We also, I also have Nebulos, the streaming service that houses my movies' identities, as well as the upcoming show Subliminal. I am also on Blue Sky and Instagram and Patreon, what helps me pay my bills. I'm doing exclusive stuff over on Patreon, like a Q&A that you can ask questions for me for. So check that out as well. Also, just a couple quick announcements. I think this is the only one that'll be close, but this might actually I think it'll already have happened by the time you listen to this, but fuck it, for my own edification, I'll say it. June 16th, I'll be doing Nerd Night, which is a talk here in LA, where I'll be doing one on the queer futurity of Sid Mead, which I'm very excited about. So please come and see that. It'll be a fun talk. It'll be at Brew Yards up in Burbank if you are in the LA area. Should be a fun time. And that's everything I got. So Vera, your time.
You said, when is that you're doing
16.
that?
It'll almost certainly.
I was gonna say that this episode will go out after that, almost a week.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, I should say this at the I will also be at San Diego Comic-Con, because I'll be on a panel. So if you're at San Diego Comic-Con, I'll give more information as we get closer to that, because I don't have the times and stuff yet. But I will be on a panel for San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, a fancy schmancy.
Mm-hmm.
You can find my stuff by looking for Council of Geeks. The Patreon is what pays the bills. Main thing that sponsors is the Council of Geeks YouTube channel. New videos every Saturday. As I already mentioned, the most recent video should be on the Amazing Digital Circus. I like it a lot. Its fandom sucks. I'll be talking about both those things. And there's also the Break Room of Geeks, where I talk about whatever I've watched, listened to, read, or played lately. I'm not following any of the new stuff that's coming out. I'm reviewing new episodes of Game Changer as they come out, and at some point in this month I'll have reviews for
I'm not fucking if I'm walking on a little treadmill.
Oh, fuck me, fuck my life.
Oh, the old baby. Oh god, so the
indubitably.
The Roulette 2 is great. Anyway,
yes,
sorry.
If you've seen Roulette 2, you know what we were just on about. But at some point this month I'll have reviews up for Spider Noir and the film Again, and some other stuff. So keep an eye out on the Break Room for that. I'm also on Blue Sky, where I post sporadically. Although an interesting thing happened actually on the Vera Wild Blue Sky account.
Oh.
So this was a half-formed thought that I'm like, that's a post, I guess. And I just wrote, I'm in a kind of mood where I want to commission art of myself that is freaky to the point that I would hesitate sharing it publicly. At which point I was inundated with replies and DMs from artists being like, "What'd you have in mind?" So that
not being the gynophilia accusations, are you, Vera?
I've got a lot of accusations I'm not beating. I'm not beating the furry accusations either anytime soon, unfortunately. Even though that, so far as I'm aware, I'm not.
Oh, well.
But anyways,
given those turfs of manumission, Vera, I'm very upset at you.
Oh, heaven forbid! I think that I am now hot. Oh, autogynephile.
I know, it's the most bullshit. Like the whole thing they call autogynephilia is like, cis women get that too, and so do straight men. So does everyone when they go, oh look, I'm hot. Whatever. Yeah,
it's fucking stupid. Anyways, that's Council of Geeks. That's the geeky stuff. There's also the spicy stuff.
Spicy stuff,
which you can find by looking for Vera Wild.
Yes, I made you laugh.
I'm tired, man. We've gone overtime from usual. I'm just exhausted. I'm fucking beat. I feel like Josh Rubin at the end of Roulette 2. I just want to collapse. But you can find Vera Wild. Wild is spelled WYLDE. Increasingly spicy content on. I'm just gonna mute you through this on YouTube and TikTok. I'm already done.
That's what she said. I already did my stuff, so that's it. Anything else, Vera?
No.
Well, with all that said, I am a Cylon and a woman, so you were seduced by hope. And with all of that, I hope you all, my friends, live long and prosper.
Be seeing you, unfortunately.
I'm going to use that from now on. I'm a woman and a Cylon.